Good morning. Today is Wednesday, October 30th. This is Wake Up with KERA News, and I'm Andrew Garcia. A warm day with isolated showers is expected today ahead of storms this evening to accompany a cold front that's sweeping into the region. Some of these storms may be strong to severe, so be on the lookout. As of today, Halloween, though, is still expected to be dry with comfortable highs in the mid-70s. We're just under a week away from Election Day, and today we'll hear about what young voters are concerned about as they head to the polls. That's after this news. Attorney General Ken Paxton is calling on a North Texas lawmaker to resign over alleged unethical contact with a judge. Republican State House member Jeff Leach of Plano sent a text asking a judge for a retrial for death row inmate Robert Robertson. In a statement, Leach admits the text was a mistake. The Dallas Police Department paid out over 2,300 hours of overtime in September. Police officials told members of the Public Safety Committee yesterday the time was spent training a specialty team in case there's unrest on Election Day or afterwards. Gay Donnell Willis was the only city council member to question the overtime expense during the meeting.
So maybe the reason this hasn't stood out to me in previous months is because this is over and above due to the election and post-election.
Michael Igo, the department's interim police chief, told Willis that was correct. College campuses have been a political flashpoint since the October 7th Hamas attack that left more than 1,000 Israelis dead. Tens of thousands of Palestinians have died in Israel's military response. It's been an important issue ahead of the 2024 election, but it's not the only thing on the minds of college students. KERA's Penelope Rivera reports on what's top of mind as young people head to the polls.
It's a sunny day at the University of Texas at Dallas. Dozens of students gather to protest the Israel-Hamas conflict, demanding a ceasefire. For many college student voters, it's a deciding factor in which candidate they choose to vote for. Critics of Israel's assault on Gaza after the deadly October 7th attacks have gone as far as calling it a genocide. That's not a determination that's been made by the United Nations, but for people like UTD student Hanan Alid, it's a main concern as she enters the voting booth.
We want to support the candidates that are not complicit in genocide, and not only complicit, but candidates that don't endorse the genocide. And
Princeton University researchers identified more than 1,000 encampment-related demonstrations at nearly 150 colleges and universities since October 2023. Recent polling data from the Institute of Politics at Harvard Kennedy School found 51% of voters ages 18 to 29 support a permanent ceasefire. Alicia Ashraf is a freshman at UT Arlington. She was unsure whether she wanted to vote for the first time because the rest of her family won't be. But Ashraf said the conflict is too important for her not to cast her vote.
I do hold a lot of values towards the whole Palestine and Israel conflict that's going on. I'm not Palestinian myself, but I know people that are. I know people that they've lost people.
But while the war is on many young voters' minds, others see issues like the economy as a top priority. In fact, Harvard polls found 64% of young voters listed inflation as the most important issue. UTA student Salvador Asensio said the economy and the effects of recent natural disasters are top of mind for him.
It's been more like the rising cost of inflation, the hurricanes that just hit, people are really need aid, people struggling.
Healthcare was second on the list, with 59% of young voters agreeing it's a topic that hits some students close to home. UTA student Isabella Randleman said unaffordable health insurance led her parents to drop her from their plan.
As someone who can only work so much, can only make so much money due to also being in classes, being able to have pay for things like vaccines or being able to pay for just any kind of medical expenses in general, it's really hard knowing I know something's wrong with me, but I can't go get it fixed.
There's a major concern about the future of reproductive rights. While abortion is completely banned in Texas, Randleman said as a woman, that's another big topic she's taking into consideration.
Definitely Roe v. Wade being overturned has been a very big eye-opener in the way of our rights. Just because we have them doesn't mean they can't go away if we aren't careful about who we are putting in positions of power.
For Acadia Clements, gun violence on school campuses is the first issue that comes to mind when thinking about her vote.
Definitely just like making sure our schools are safe and well funded. I mean, that's my main thing, especially here in Texas, because all I see on the news is like school shooting here, school shooting there.
Still, while those issues may encourage young people to vote, many anti-war students said they won't be heading to the polls at all. They've decided that continuing conflict in the Middle East means they're staying home. And according to the Harvard polls, young Americans appear less likely to vote this year than they did in 2020. That was a record-setting year that saw 52% of registered young voters cast their ballot. UTD student Siraj Westman is one of many who doesn't support either candidate.
I don't plan to vote. Both parties are complicit in the genocide, and both parties are interested in sending more aid to Israel. So I don't see a difference between them.
How will this voting bloc influence the 2024 election? We'll find out after Election Day on November 5th.
That was KERA's Penelope Rivera. The Mavs won against the Timberwolves last night by a score of 120 to 114. They'll play the Houston Rockets at home tomorrow for a Halloween game. Starting off the season 3-1, it's looking like the Mavs are scary good. Take the family to explore animal habitats with the Wildcrats. At the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History, kids and families will get the chance to try out creature powers, such as sneaking through the forest using the stealth of a jaguar, swinging through the trees like a spider monkey, and much more. For more information and other things to do, visit kera.org/calendar. Thank you so much for listening to Wake Up with KERA News. I'm your host, Andrew Garcia. The show was produced and edited by Shardae White and Bekah Morr. You can get more news in your inbox every day by visiting kera.org/wakeup. That's where you can subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA News newsletter, written by our colleague Catherine Hobbs. Stay up to date during elections with our Voter's Guide. You can find that at keranews.org. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at KERATX. If you're rocking your I voted sticker in some posts, be sure to tag us. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow.